What's up, guys? JR Raymond with BowlerX.com here inside MRB Classic Pro Shop, where today we're going to talk about that new Storm Ball. We got the Axiom here in front of us. It's a new symmetrical piece with some good numbers on it. I believe it said it was 248050. So it's still in the 50s, so it's still pretty good differential, but it's a little bit lower than like what you saw out of that hypercell, or not the hypercell, the nuclear cell. I had 056, so a little bit higher differential there is going to flare a little bit more, but this should give us a little bit more control. Comes 3,000 out of box. You can see it's got a little bit of dullness to it, so it's got that typical Storm type look to it, which is really nice. So we're going to put some holes in this thing and talk about how we're going to lay it out here in just a minute, so stay tuned. All right, so we went with some different numbers a little bit. We talked about that nuclear cell in my, what I like to see out of that hypercell when I had this hypercell before. It looked really good with the pin above my middle at about 5 inches. So we ended up going with, it was like, what was it, 50 or 55 or 60, I don't remember, by 5 inches by 55 or something like that. Got me to about that 110 range. So it's going to look all right. I like the plan for that. And honestly, I'm going to go probably a little bit stronger with this ball because it is symmetrical, and I want to be able to have something where I can kind of stand on top of the oil and be able to play a good solid angle through the front part of the lane and not have to throw it dead right or feel like I have to throw it super slow and let it curve. I kind of want to be able to just be aggressive with it, and I want it to be a little bit more controlled and stable. So we're going to go with probably like a 4 3/4 inch pin rather than 5 or 5.5, and see what we can come up with. So we'll start this out. The first number doesn't matter since this is symmetrical, but because I want you guys to be able to understand what's going on, I'm still going to do the first number for you. Okay. So first number doesn't matter. The first number is going to determine where this is shifted, basically, the CG. CG is not going to matter in the reaction on this ball, though. So let's go with, let's just say 55, just because. Not that it matters. 55, and then I said we were going to go 4 3/4 inches. So 4 3/4, which is going to put it in between the bridge and my middle finger. And then we need to go, I'm going to slow it down a little bit. So I'm going to go like 70. So we're going to go 70 and bring that pin down in between. Probably going to end up drilling through it, or at least partially through it. We'll find out here in a second. I'm going to inch down. Get this over here. Draw it over 4.5. That's actually going to put it pinned down under my middle finger, which is good. So we're going to end up with holes. That's my center line here. So we're going to end up going here. Yeah, it's going to barely touch the pin. It's basically going to be right under my middle finger. So we're going to have hole here, and then we're going to end up down here. So it's going to give us, hopefully, that nice, smooth, strong, smooth, predictable ball motion. And this is going to be something a little bit different than what I have in my bag, and it actually should play a pretty good role, more of like a benchmark type piece. So Storm's done a pretty good job with a lot of their solid symmetricals lately. I mean, all the idols were good. So even though that's roto grip, I know, but those were all really good. And Storm was due for a really good, strong symmetrical on their end rather than, having it over on the roto grip side. I know roto grip had the wild streak going, and then all of the idols were all symmetrical for them. And Storm has the phase 3, but that's a shiny symmetrical. And then you had the all road, which was, that a little bit weaker, duller, earlier ball, I guess. But this will be something a little bit different than all of those. So hopefully this fits the bag really well. But we're going to find out. I'm going to put holes in these things. Comment below. Let me know how you would lay this thing out, what you're going to do when you get yours. And make sure to head over to BowlerX.com and pre-order yours today. And until next time, guys, I'm out of here. We'll see you guys later.